Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we're journeying back, way back actually,
Where are we headed?
to the American Old West.
Ah, okay. The frontier.
Yeah, a vast, untamed time, a place just full of incredible stories.
And some pretty terrifying encounters, too, based on the folklore.
Definitely. And at the heart of our deep dive today is this central mystery. It's a kind of phantom image that's haunted people's imaginations for decades.
You're talking about the photo, aren't you?
Exactly, an alleged photograph, supposedly from the late 19th or early 20th century.
Right.
Picture it, okay? You've got these rugged-looking cowboys standing proudly next to the carcass of just this enormous winged creature.
Huge wingspan stretching right across the frame. That's the description.
Yeah, massive. And it looks like some kind of giant, almost prehistoric bird, a thunderbird.
Which isn't a known species, of
Yes.
course. It's straight out of Native American legend.
Right. But here's the twist, the real question driving this whole thing.
What if it's real?
What if that photo isn't just some forgotten hoax or, a delusion or maybe a misremembered picture?
What if it's actual proof?
Undeniable proof that pterosaurs or something very much like them didn't die out.
And that the photo is missing not by accident.
But because someone or some group meticulously suppressed it, took it away.
Yeah, for mainstream science, look, this photograph is pretty much a classic urban legend. A really interesting case study in collective memory, folklore. But for others, or its total absence from any official archive, that's not proof it's fake.
It's proof of the cover-up itself.
Exactly. So our mission today is to dig into that, unearth the origins of the Thunderbird legend itself, peel back the layers of this whole conspiracy about the photo.
Look at the claims, the alleged evidence.
Right, dissect the claims about what the photo showed, why it was supposedly suppressed. We'll examine the evidence people point to.
And then we'll ground ourselves a bit. Look at the logical counter-arguments.
And maybe trying to understand why this theory is so potent, why it resonates so much with, our fascination with hidden creatures and maybe our distrust of official stories.
Exactly. This is about helping you understand the key points from all the talk about this, giving you a shortcut to being, well-informed, maybe with a few surprising facts thrown in.
And hopefully keep you hooked along the way.
Okay, so let's pull back that curtain. Where does this incredible story really start?
Well, you have to start with the Thunderbird legend itself, don't you?
Makes sense. It's the foundation.
It's a really powerful figure and widespread across different Native American cultures. Pacific Northwest, Great Plains, Southwest. And the depiction is generally consistent. A giant, supernatural bird of prey.
Associated with storms, right? Thunder, lightning.
Exactly. Power, strength, sometimes rain bringer, sometimes a destructive force. Its size in the stories is always immense.
Capable of carrying off like a deer or even people.
That's what the legends often say. A truly massive, powerful being.
Okay, so that legend sets the stage. But the real core of this mystery, the thing that sparks the conspiracy, is the lost Thunderbird photo.
The specific alleged photograph.
Yeah. The legend describes this photo, supposedly published, maybe in an old newspaper or magazine.
Showing that large, pterosaur-like creature.
Right. Often described as nailed to a barn wall or maybe stretched out on the ground.
And there are men standing next to it. Cowboys, sometimes soldiers.
Holding their arms out to show just how huge the wingspan was.
And the key characteristics people remember, or claim to remember, are pretty consistent.
Giant size, obviously.
Leathery wings, not feathers.
Yeah.
Maybe a long beak or head crest. Reptilian features.
Definitely not like a modern bird. And the setting is crucial too, right? The Old West.
Late 19th, early 20th century, frontiersmen in period clothes.
And it was supposedly published somewhere specific, but poof, gone.
People often mention the tombstone epitaph,
Or sometimes an old National Geographic from the 1800s.
but it's never found in any actual copies of those publications.
And that brings us to something really fascinating you mentioned earlier.
The Mandela effect connection.
Yeah.
Huh.
Explain that a bit more, because lots of people seem to remember seeing this exact photo.
It's quite striking. Despite it being completely absent from any verifiable archive, many individuals have vivid memories of encountering it.
They remember details.
Oh yeah, specific details, sometimes the layout on the page, or just the strong feeling they had when they saw this impossible creature captured on film.
It's like a shared false memory, is that the idea?
That's the psychological explanation, yes.
Yeah.
A large group collectively remembers something that didn't actually happen or exist in the way they recall it.
Wow. So our brains can basically just create a plausible memory, even without a real source. That's kind of unnerving.
It is, and that leads directly to the central problem here.
Which is?
Despite decades of searching by cryptid hunters, researchers, skeptics, everyone, no authentic, verifiable Thunderbird photo matching this description has ever surfaced.
Yeah.
Period.
People have found fakes, though, right?
Oh, absolutely. Numerous hoaxes have popped up. People doctoring old photos, sticking cutouts onto barn walls, merging images of modern birds.
But none of them are the photo.
None are the original legendary lost photo.
Mhm.
So the argument from skeptics is that people are misremembering other images, maybe conflating different stories or pictures they've seen over the years.
Okay, so mainstream science looks at this and says,
Fascinating urban legend. Great example of collective memory, how folklore works.
but for the conspiracy theorists,
This is where it gets really interesting. For them, the fact that it's missing, combined with so many people remembering it,
that's not proof it's fake.
no. That's proof positive of a deliberate, systematic cover-up. Its very non-existence becomes the evidence.
And that leads us right down the rabbit hole
Deep down.
into the core conspiracy theory. Suppressed cryptids, hidden pterosaurs, and the cover-up of Earth's true inhabitants. That's quite a title.
It is, and it posits that the photo wasn't a hoax at all.
It was real, genuine evidence.
Evidence of surviving prehistoric creatures. And their existence is being meticulously hidden from us all.
For reasons, sinister reasons, presumably.
Generally, yes. The theory specifically claims the creature in the photo was a genuine pterosaur.
Like the flying reptiles from the dinosaur era.
Exactly. The ones believed to have died out 66 million years ago with the dinosaurs.
So the idea is they didn't die out.
They somehow survived that massive extinction event, the
Yeah.
KPG asteroid impact,
Wow.
and they've supposedly maintained hidden populations ever since.
Where would something like that hide?
Well, the theories point to remote, unexplored places. Deep jungles, vast cave systems, isolated mountain ranges.
Places off the map, basically.
Pretty much. Some theories even invoke a hollow earth concept. But the core idea challenges mainstream paleontology directly.
Saying these things are still out there.
Yes, and for proponents of this theory, that lost photo becomes crucial.
It's the smoking gun, or the missing smoking gun.
Exactly. It's seen as authentic proof, and the Mandela effect, that's reinterpreted too.
Oh, so
It's not seen as a false memory. It's proof of erasure.
erasure? You mean someone deliberately wiped it?
That's the claim. A residual memory of a truth that was actively scrubbed from public records, from our collective consciousness, designed to make people doubt their own eyes, their own memories.
It does make you pause and wonder, doesn't it? How much of what we think is real is maybe constructed?
It taps into that uncertainty. It highlights how powerful suggestion can be, how our brains fill gaps, sometimes with things that just feel true.
So who's supposedly doing the erasing? Who's behind the cover-up?
Well, the primary suspects are usually governments, specifically the US government or military.
Why would they hide living pterosaurs?
Several reasons are proposed. One is simply preventing mass panic. Imagine the chaos.
Okay, that's plausible, maybe.
Another is monopolizing knowledge. Think about the insights. Flight mechanics from those huge leathery wings.
Could revolutionize aeronautics.
Totally. Or understanding their biology. How did they survive? Do they live incredibly long? Secrets to longevity, maybe even new genetic material.
Okay, that's starting to sound like sci-fi.
It definitely veers that way. And then there are darker versions.
Like weaponization.
Exactly.
What?
Using them for aerial reconnaissance, biological warfare, secret weapons programs.
And it's not just the government, right? Science gets accused, too.
Oh yeah. Mainstream science, particularly paleontology and zoology, is often painted as either stubbornly dogmatic.
Unwilling to accept evidence that overturns established theories.
Right. Or even complicit in the cover-up. Actively discrediting eyewitnesses to protect their careers, their funding, the status quo.
And sometimes you hear about secret societies, a global elite.
That crops up too. The idea of a hidden hand controlling information, maintaining a false reality for the rest of us.
So the motives boil down to control, fear, power.
Pretty much. Maintaining control over our understanding of reality, preventing social disruption, monopolizing potential biological or technological advantages, or maybe protecting secret bases in areas where these creatures supposedly live.
Okay, let's pivot to the evidence then. What do proponents actually point to? What stands out to you as the most cited pieces?
Well, as we've discussed, the most compelling thing for many believers is the Mandela effect itself.
They see the shared memory not as a glitch, but as proof?
Proof of erasure, yeah. It's a residual ghost of a truth that they, whoever they are, deliberately removed, wanting us to doubt our own minds.
Beyond the memory of the photo, what else?
Consistent eyewitness accounts are a big one.
Modern sightings?
Yes. Numerous reports, globally really, of large, winged, reptilian creatures, places like the Big Bend area in Texas.
I've heard of that one.
Papua New Guinea has the Ropen legends, parts of the Amazon. The descriptions often match pterosaurs' leathery wings, long tails, sometimes head crests.
And proponents say these sightings corroborate the photo's reality. They show these things are still seen today.
Right. It builds a pattern, suggesting the photo captured something real that persists.
What does mainstream science say about those modern sightings? Why do people keep reporting these things if pterosaurs are extinct?
The usual explanations involve misidentification.
Like seeing a big bird, a condor, or an eagle.
Or large bats, maybe even unfamiliar aircraft like drones, especially at dusk or from a distance. And of course, the power of suggestion and local folklore can shape interpretation. If you live where Ropen stories are common, you might interpret an unusual sighting through that lens.
Gotcha. What else is used as evidence?
Native American Thunderbird folklore itself is often reinterpreted.
Not as myth, but as history.
Exactly. As oral histories documenting real encounters with these giant flying creatures, providing a kind of historical, cultural validation for their existence.
And the Old West setting of the photo, does that help?
For proponents, yes.
Yeah.
The argument is that frontiersmen were, rugged, practical people, less prone to flights of fancy.
Supposedly.
And it was a time of exploration, before everything was mapped and settled, maybe a time when such creatures were more likely to be encountered and, crucially, photographed.
So basically the idea is the Old West was like the original internet, full of tall tales and maybe some viral hoaxes, just with more grit.
Huh. That's one way to put it. Just swap cat videos for giant bird photos. You also hear the general missing link argument sometimes.
Regarding the fossil record.
Yeah, suggesting that while we know pterosaurs from fossils, maybe there are gaps. Maybe survival into more recent times isn't impossible based on the fossil evidence alone. It's a weaker argument, but it comes up.
And this all ties into a bigger picture for believers, right?
Definitely. It fits into a broader narrative about the suppression of cryptid evidence in general.
Like Bigfoot, Nessie.
Exactly. Proponents see the Thunderbird photo mystery as part of a historical pattern where institutions dismiss or cover up evidence of creatures that don't fit the standard model.
Proving, in their view, a deliberate effort to control what we believe about the natural world.
And finally, there are whispers, anecdotal reports about alleged government or military interest, secret files, research projects looking into these large flying creatures, maybe for that weaponization angle we talked about.
Okay, so that's the case for it being real and suppressed. Now let's put on the skeptic's hat. What are the mainstream explanations for all this?
Right. So looking at it from mainstream science, historical photography analysis, psychology, the widespread memory of the photo is primarily explained as that classic Mandela effect.
The shared false memory.
Exactly. Attributed to things like confabulation, our brains filling in memory gaps with plausible but incorrect details. Suggestibility hearing the legend makes you remember seeing it, and cultural reinforcement of the story is so compelling, it creates a strong mental image that feels like a real memory.
And the absolute key point.
No one can produce the original photo, ever, or point to a specific verifiable publication where it appeared.
Just to be crystal clear, no verifiable photo matching this description exists.
Despite decades of looking by everyone imaginable. Archives, newspapers, photo collections, nothing.
And all the photos that do show up claiming to be it.
Proven fakes. Doctored images, misidentified birds, clever hoaxes. Every single time.
Okay. What about the eyewitness accounts of pterosaur-like creatures today?
Well, as we touched on, eyewitness testimony is notoriously subjective. Misidentification is the most likely culprit.
Big birds, bats, drones.
Exactly. Seen under poor conditions, or maybe the story gets embellished over time through retelling. Folklore plays a huge role.
And the scientific consensus on pterosaurs themselves?
Unequivocal. They are extinct. The fossil record is overwhelming on this point.
Died out 66 million years ago, KPG extinction.
Yes. There's no credible scientific evidence, zero pointing to their survival beyond that point. And ecologically, it's just incredibly improbable.
A hidden population of giant flying predators today.
Would require a vast, undiscovered ecosystem to support them. Where is it? It doesn't fit with our understanding of modern biology and environments.
What about the Old West context? Less fantasy back then.
Well, the Old West was actually famous for its tall tales. Exaggerated stories, sensational newspaper reports were common. The Thunderbird legend fits right into that cultural milieu.
And photography back then.
Trick photography, staged photos for entertainment or sensationalism that was absolutely a thing in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Creating a fake Thunderbird photo would have been possible, and perhaps even popular.
And finally, the government cover-up angle.
There's simply no credible evidence, no declassified documents, no reliable whistleblower testimony, nothing concrete suggests any government agency is hiding pterosaurs or confiscated the photo.
The simplest explanation for the photo's absence
is that it never existed in the first place. Not suppression, just non-existence.
Okay, so if the evidence against it seems so strong, scientifically speaking, why does this conspiracy persist? Why does the lost Thunderbird photo idea endure so powerfully?
It's a great question. And there are several compelling reasons, I think.
It really shows how much we want to believe in the unknown, doesn't it? Even against the odds.
Absolutely. First, as we keep saying, the power of that Mandela effect is huge.
That shared memory.
It feels so real to those who experience it. It creates this incredibly powerful, subjective proof that's really hard to shake with just logic or lack of evidence. It's like a phantom limb of collective memory.
And then there's just the sheer coolness factor, right? Living dinosaurs.
Undeniably, the idea that prehistoric giants still roam or fly among us, that taps into a really deep primal fascination with monsters, with the unknown, with the wilder world.
It's exciting.
Very. Plus, there's a general distrust, for some people, of mainstream science or official explanations.
Especially when those explanations debunk a really cool story.
Exactly. So the cover-up angle feeds into that distrust. It feels more plausible to someone already skeptical of institutions.
And the idea of a hidden truth.
That's a classic trope in conspiracy culture, isn't it? The notion that powerful forces are concealing profound realities from the public is very appealing to a certain mindset.
It makes the believer feel like they're in on a secret.
Precisely. Then there's the what-if factor.
The implications.
Yeah, the implications of a living pterosaur are just so massive it would rewrite biology, challenge extinction theories. It's such a profound possibility that even if it's improbable, the idea itself is incredibly powerful and compelling.
And you mentioned the Old West setting earlier.
I think that adds a certain romance, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A layer of rugged authenticity, adventure, mystery. It makes the legend feel grounded in a specific, evocative time and place.
So ultimately?
Ultimately, I think it speaks to a fundamental human desire for mystery, for wonder, for the idea that the world isn't fully mapped, explained, and tamed. We want there to be dragons or thunderbirds still out there.
Okay, so our journey through this deep dive, it's taken us from this really captivating frontier legend.
Right, rooted in Native American folklore.
All the way to this chilling modern narrative of suppressed reality, hidden creatures, government secrecy.
We've laid out the two opposing views pretty clearly, I think.
On one side, mainstream science says, classic urban legend, fascinating example of the Mandela effect, but no real photo.
And on the other side, the conspiracy theory insists the photo was real, the creatures exist, and its absence is proof of a deliberate cover-up.
And it resonates, as you said, because of that compelling shared memory.
The sheer allure of living dinosaurs.
And that enduring human desire for hidden wonders, for a world that still holds deep mysteries. So here's a final thought for you, listening right now. As you gaze up at the sky, maybe later today, that vast, often empty-looking sky,
and you ponder what might still soar unseen.
Consider those whispers of the lost Thunderbird photo. Is it just a phantom image, a collective dream fueled by folklore and the quirks of memory?
Or is it a ghost of a hidden truth? A fleeting glimpse of ancient monsters deliberately veiled by, well, those who don't want us to know. Creatures still soaring in the shadows just above us.
The definitive answer, for now anyway, seems lost in the mists of legend and memory.
But that captivating what if of the Thunderbird, it definitely keeps echoing, doesn't it? Right in the depths of our collective imagination.